All right, those of you who are on the virtual world and at home right now, I don't know why my camera's not working today, but it's not. So hello to all of you who are at home. There's a lot of you. We have no Bethy, no Aries, no Oasis, no Courtney, no Alan. So almost half the class. So let's go over. So I'm going to have the morning announcements here on my computer here. So all right, everyone. So Monday, October 26th, that is today. So what we're going to be doing today, we are going to be taking notes on lesson 2.3.1. So right after I'm done with the announcements, I'm going to have you guys read. And then for the first, however, I'm going to have first about 20 minutes of class, I'm going to have you start taking notes on your own because when I'm going through my PowerPoints, I want to be able to go through them a little bit quicker so I can, so I don't have to wait as long. And I know you guys know how to take notes on your own. So the first 20 minutes of class will be your reading time. And then also you can take notes from your book personally yourself. And that'll help you, that'll help your other way of learning. And I'm gonna come around to make sure you are doing your notes okay and make sure that you are getting them done and not just doing homework during that time.
Like the vocab we should be able to.
Yeah, yep, you, and I will, and I'm about to go over that here in just a sec. So Tuesday, we will do the next PowerPoint, and we're going to have the same setup for tomorrow. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we all are doing the same thing. So 2.3.1 to 2.3.3. That'll be the next 3 days. Then Thursday, we have a lab. So we're going to do lab 2.3.1. If you want to, you can look at it in your lab manual. It's going to be about mushroom reproduction. So if you can, be here or be square because it's going to be a fun lab. I'm excited for that one. That's going to be part of it. Yep. Yeah, Evan. We're going to be cutting up a mushroom, and you can look inside your lab manual. It says what we're going to be doing in there. I'm not going to go into it more than that because you can actually look in there yourself. So, and then Friday, you're going to have a work day. So you're going to have all the lesson numbers, so page 86, page 89, page 93, and then worksheet 2.3.3. So during some of your downtime, if you would like, you can work on some of this. When you are taking notes, the first portion of class, that is not what you are going to be doing. The first portion of class is not for you to work on this homework. It is for you to take notes. So as I come around during class, you are to be taking notes. And if you're not taking notes, you will get a 0 for that assignment. So the assignment for each day is going to be you taking notes during class. So when I come around, if you are taking active notes, you'll get full credit. That's all there is to it. Okay. Then next week, which is week 9, that is finals week. So during finals week, we have a couple more work days because the final is going over everything that we've studied so far from lesson 1.1.1 all the way to lesson 2.3.3. So that is a lot of content right there that we've covered.
That's the 4-page final.
It's going to be about 50 questions. Yep, because we've taken 4 quizzes so far in science and we've gone through 8 weeks of content. So I'm going to be seeing what you know and what you don't know.
Wait, already started with 8 weeks of school?
Yeah, well, 7. We've gone through 7 weeks. We are on week 8. So that's what we're going to be doing on Monday, and then Tuesday you get another work day. So studying, you get a study guide those 2 days. It's going to be a massive study guide. And if you don't want to use the study guide, that's fine. Some of what you're going to see from the study guide is just same old stuff. And then the final exam will be Wednesday, November 4th. So if you do have a planner, I know some of you have planners, mark that down. Wednesday, November 4th is going to be our final. Please stop making all those noises. And then Thursday the 5th, this won't be counted towards this quarter. This is going to be towards quarter number 2. We're going to be doing lesson PowerPoint 2.4.1. Nope, no fixing the final. Yeah, you can fix quizzes, you can fix homework, but the final, whatever your grade is on your final, that's what you get. And does anyone remember on the syllabus how much points the final is worth, the percentage? Yeah, William. It's not 50%. I'll show you I'll show you it here right now. So let me go to our class drive. Whoops, wrong thing. Drive. Let's see. Classroom. Science.
Oh.
Maybe it's not under there. Okay, maybe it's not in here yet. I thought I moved it over here. Unless I just didn't move it into the file. No, it's only worth 40%. 40% of your grade. And those of you who still have your syllabus, which should be like at the front of your binder. So your participation grade is 10%, 10%. And then homework is 40%. And then quizzes are 20%. And final is 30%. So 30% of your grade. So if you have 100% in my class up until now, and you get a 0 on the final, you would end up going from 100% down to a 70%. So 30% of your grade. So I don't like to think of it like that because, as I told you guys last year, how often do you really get a 0 on a test, especially if there's multiple choice questions? It's impossible because that means you know some of the answers and you are answering it incorrectly at that point.
If you get a complete 0, that means you don't know.
Exactly.
No way.
Yep. So you will get you're not gonna get a 0. So don't think of it like that unless you just completely don't do it. That would be the only way you could get a 0 on the final.
It said write 100,000 in word form and you didn't consider that.
Well, that's math. That's a different story. So let's get started on today. So you have time to get started on your notes. If I can get around this thing, there we go. Video gonna work yet? Nope. That's okay. Disable. Was that it? No, it's still not working. All right, I'll have to look into that a little bit more later. Okay, so we are now on fungi. Fungi, not fungi, not fungi. It's fungi. So we are in Unit 2. We are in Unit 2. So we're going to be going through Chapter 3 of Unit 2. So that's why it's 2.3. And then we'll be going through each lesson. So lesson 1, 2, and 3. So there's only 3 lessons within fungi. So, yep. So lesson 2.3.1, the structure of fungi. So this is what you are labeling the top of your notes. This is what you're going to be labeling the top of your notes. So you're going to have time to read the entire lesson, which is only about 2 to 3 pages. So you'll have time during these first 20 minutes to read. So 2.3.1, the structure of fungi. So what do you need to include in your notes? So how do I make these PowerPoints? So this is essentially what you're going to be doing. So for the first 20 minutes of class, you're going to be reading the lesson. So 2.3.1. And then once you finish that, because that's not going to take you 20 minutes, you're going to start taking notes on it. So what do you include in your notes? You're going to include the vocabulary. So is there 3 vocab words? Yeah, so there's 3 vocab words. So you would label that vocab, write down your 3 vocab words. And then from there, you have, is there 2 or 3 objectives in there? 2. So you have 2 objectives. So you'll look at the objectives, and then within your reading, find the answers to the objectives. So our first objective is recall the, or nope, I'm on lesson. I was on the wrong lesson. So list several characteristics of fungi. So you would write that on the left-hand column of your notes. So that would be, an example would be, that would be my title slide up here. So it would say characteristics of fungi. And then you would look through your reading, find the characteristics and start listing them. This is going to take you longer than 20 minutes. This is just going to be your warm-up. So give yourself 20 minutes. Same thing for those of you at home. Give yourself 20 minutes to start taking your notes. And if you don't finish, that's fine. I'm going to come around, make sure you got some of it down. and then I will finish up doing it here on the PowerPoint. And so this normal PowerPoint, it's not going to be 40 minutes long because you guys have time right now to get it going. So, all right, let's go ahead and start. So here comes my 20-minute timer. Ian, real quick. Yep, real quick. So 20-minute timer starting now. Maybe. There we go.
Oh, that's distracting.
All right, so 20 minutes have pretty much passed. So go ahead and let's continue in our notes. So even those of you who are at home, if you didn't, make sure you do the first 20 minutes of class doing your notes on your own, because we just all did in class. So I have a few questions for you guys. So what words come to your mind when you think of the word fungus? What do you think of when you hear fungus? Yeah. Mushroom.
Like, for some reason, like, this is probably not, I don't know if it's probably like the mushrooms that you, I don't know why I always think of that when I think of fungus.
And that's a good point. That's a very good point. I'm going to be talking about that. So fungus, there's types of mushrooms that can, like psychedelic mushrooms, that they make you not in your right mindset. And that's because they are poisonous to you. That's because they are poisonous. Yeah, Abby. What was that? Cold dark dam. Yep. Yeah.
The
One-up mushroom. Mario. Funny. Evan.
It also reminds me of the Pokemon mushroom. Yeah.
Fungus. The Pokemon mushroom. Oh, like fungus or something.
Mario,
yeah.
Jump on.
Yeah, Evan, or Ian.
I think mushroom and
Mario. Nice. So, what shape do you think of when you think of a fungi or fungus? Yeah, Madeline.
Smurfs, houses.
The Smurf houses, nice. Yep, so it has the bigger top and then it goes down skinnier on the bottom, right? So we're going to be going over throughout this entire unit what all those structures are called. Yeah, Evan?
I think it's the ones that my mom buys when she goes to the mine.
Yes. Yep.
Pizza.
Yep. So ones that you can actually eat because the food drawing a blank on who the food testing company is, but not the FDA. Yeah, FDA. The FDA, they test different foods to see if it is okay for you to eat. So those type of mushrooms, yes, they are good for you to eat because they are not poisonous to you. So are all fungi edible? Can we eat all different types of fungi? I kind of gave away the answer to this already, William.
Yes, it's just you might not survive for most of them.
So no, because you cannot survive from all of them because they are poisonous. So no, they are not all edible. So you guys wrote down these vocab words already. So we have hyphae, mycelium, and a spore. So Jaden, can you read what a hyphae is? Page 84. Yes, so the thread-like filaments that produce enzymes. So that is, we're going to be going over how all these are connected. So I don't want to give away my next slide too much. So mycelium, Caleb, can you read that one?
Where's that?
That's on page 84. Yeah.
The large mass of hyphae that forms the ground structure of fungus.
Yes, so mycelium, that's when you have a bunch of hyphae all in a network together. So it's pretty much just a bunch of hyphae. So think of a tree when they have all sprouted and it's all the roots or all the branches. And then we have a spore. Logan, can you read what a spore is for me?
A small reproductive cell that can develop into an adult without fusing with another cell.
Yes. So it is just it's the small reproductive part. So spores, they can actually just float through the air until they find something to live on. So spores, one thing you can think of is a spore that is just going to land on, let's say, a strawberry. When it lands on that strawberry, it starts to grow hyphae, and then eventually it starts to, when you have a bunch of hyphae, it eventually becomes a network, and that's where you end up getting Mold. There we go. Don't know why I couldn't remember that. Okay, so how does this work? How does this work? So if you have something like this in your notes already, great. If you don't, write down the general idea, but it's essentially what I just elaborated on. So spores, they're constantly flying through the air. Spores, they are constantly flying through the air. When do they land? Well, they land when there is some kind of food for them to feed off of.
How do they know there's food?
I don't know. Well, actually I do know. They know when it is a warm place for them to survive. They're not going to, that's why you don't see spores just landing on your food that's in the refrigerator or freezer, because they can't survive in that climate. Yeah, Evan.
So, how small?
Spores, they're microscopic, and they become bigger over time. And that's what this process is going over.
Eat all the nutrients out of it.
They eat the nutrients, yep, and that's how mold comes up on your food. So hyphae, that's the branch, they branch outward. They resemble tree roots. So this is kind of what you wrote down in your notes already. And then from there, the hyphae, when you have a bunch of them, in that branch network of tree, when they all are branching out, that's when you have the mycelium. So these three terms are all connected. They're all connected. Okay. So here on this strawberry here, we have the little fuzzy guys right there. That's the mycelium. That's the mycelium. So when you can actually see it, eventually you have just one little hair. That's going to be hyphae. And then when it becomes a network, when it becomes a bunch of the little hairs all over the place, that is when you can actually see it right here. So the spore, it lands on the strawberry. And then once it's there for a long enough period of time, it becomes bigger and larger, and then it infects the food to the point where you can't eat it anymore.
The one right behind it on the left.
So background of fungi. So this was at the top of your reading, talking about where fungus came from. Fungus comes from the Latin word, I don't think I can say that, but I'm going to try it. Fungos, that's what I'm going to guess. I'm very bad at pronouncing words unless it's something that's actually sciencey. So ask Mrs. Hansen if I'm actually correct on that one. And so that relates to the Greek word for sponge. So this is not question time. We're going through this. I'm going to have time for a little bit of questions at the end. So writing down your notes right now. So there are 100,000 known species for fungi. 100,000 known species of fungi. That's a lot. That's a lot. So most of those are living in this type of environment. So living just outside. There's not very many known that are living in water. There's not a lot of fungus that can survive in water. I think there's only I think it's a single digit number is what I read in a different text. Scientists, they believe there are many species of fungi that are still unknown. So there's still a lot of fungus out there that they are unknown, because there is areas where they can thrive, and that is known as those areas where we can't go because it's too hot, where it's too cold. There is some fungi that we have discovered within the past 50 years. So we will still be discovering more fungi as time goes on.
Some fungi is actually helpful.
Huh?
Some fungi is actually.
It is, yeah, yep. And that's what my next slide was. So we have heterotrophs or heterotrophs. So fungi is heterotrophic, meaning it is a heterotroph. And that's the same classification as other plants. They are, wait a second, I said that wrong. No. So they are non-vascular. So big difference is there's no chlorophyll found in fungi. There's no chlorophyll. So chlorophyll, that is what helps fungi or plants with photosynthesis. So that's how they eat. Fungi, completely different in that manner, because they don't use photosynthesis to eat. Plants use photosynthesis to eat. Fungi do not. So it is the chlorophyll that helps plants eat through photosynthesis. So And that's what that next point says. Plants use chlorophyll and light to make food. And so with that chlorophyll, we are actually using it to make medicine. And some of those same, and we actually use some fungi to produce medicine as well. Yeah, William, real quick.
Many fungi are saprophytes.
Yes, I can't say that word very well either. Yep. So it is. It's one of those tongue twisters. Okay. So characteristics we have to reproduce fungi. You need, like Abby was saying, you need a warmer temperature. This is for most fungi. Some fungi can be in colder areas. There needs to be some kind of moisture on food, and they need some kind of space. So why have fungi not overpopulated the world? Why are fungi just not overpopulating the world right now? Yeah, William.
Because this is only for all time, and God created them to reproduce at a steady pace.
At a steady pace, yep, yep. Good. Any other reasons that you guys can think of why fungi haven't just overpopulated the world? Because they do feed off of dead organisms, and they have a pretty long lifespan. So why have they just not taken over, why have fungi not taken over the world? Ian?
We also have a bunch of medicine
To fight off fungi, so we fight off mushrooms with medicine?
No, I thought you were talking
Are you thinking of viruses?
Yeah, viruses.
So think of fungi, so think of a mushroom or mold.
The reason why we don't have very many mushrooms is because we also eat mushrooms. So,
But we don't need that many mushrooms because there's a lot of poisonous mushrooms.
well, there's a lot of animals also.
So why haven't all the poisonous mushrooms killed off all the people in the world? Madeline?
And all the animals that have there that have really good systems,
Mhm.
they can eat that without nothing.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Exactly.
They actually, when we were hunting, there was just a little bite out of a huge mushroom.
Yep,
And I was like, deer got a hold of that one.
bingo, yep. There are a lot of animals that they can eat some of those mushrooms that are poisonous to humans.
That's what I was.
So they are able to eat those poisonous mushrooms, but we are not able to because our digestive systems, it's not able to digest through our system. Ian?
Well, that's what I said.
So with medicines and stuff, it sounded like you were going on a virus. I'm confused too. I don't know. That wasn't what you were saying at all. Okay, let's move on. So I have one last video for you here. One last video. I guess I haven't shown a video yet. So here's the video of the day of fungi. So
Hello and welcome to the wonderful world of fungi.